Well, hello, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. I'm Manasong, a lewd, degen, out and professional multiverse wizard specializing in world building and Waifusmith. Now floating by my shoulder is Grammary, a succubus who's always open to game or acolyte. But the milking session is for after the stream because right now it's time for some more studying. And unfortunately, today we're continuing this book that has been taking quite a while. 5 streams now, 5 streams. How much is 5 times 3? 30 hours. 30 hours reading this. But hopefully we get to a actually interesting point. Where are we? Germany, coin. We are here, page 120. Let's take actually a quick look at the only summary again. Oh my god. There you go, contents. 120 is like coinage, okay. Other spheres. There, the guild is the principal agent, the organization. Okay, yes. I wanna read this part. Guild, the decree, the expansion of the guild. I don't know if it's gonna give us some actual historical context for guilds, because kind of like guilds are like the quintessential fantasy medieval stuff thingy. So I wanna know more about them from an actual historical source on what they are like. Also, let me check the audio levels for the music. Where is the music? Testing. Let's see. I always keep messing around with these audio levels because the music change. Yeah, each music has their own level in these videos, so it is. They vary a lot. Kinda annoying. Sometimes you have like sometimes the music shooting, sometimes you can't hear the music, sometimes it's too loud that it's annoying. For these reading streams, it is best that the audio level be perfect. Right now I increased the audio a bit, but is the music gonna increase? Is it gonna become more intense, this music? What is this one? Or no. Gonna about to end actually, huh? Well, I'm actually not exactly listening to the music myself. I'm listening to something else because it kind of annoys me. I prefer to do these study streams while having ASMR. So I'm listening to things on my laptop. I'm listening things on my laptop while the music plays around on my computer. So if it goes actually too loud, I'm not gonna be able to listen or notice. But okay. That's just to make it more bearable on me. That is necessary to make things more bearable on me. Now, let's actually continue. We stopped here. We're reading about coinage systems. And I don't really remember too much. It's been like 2 weeks since I've read this. Oh shit, I need some water. I forgot to grab me a cup of water. I need to get my throat nice, wet, and moist. Otherwise, it's gonna be a bit rough on me. Anyway, we're back. Okay, I'm back. Now, let's actually start this. Germany, coinage oh yeah, I'm gonna just read fast and skip over stuff because just wanna finish this coinage, this last coinage topic, which is slightly interesting. Because how were actually coinage done in medieval times? That's a nice world building topic. Anyway, Germany coinage conditions resembled tall conditions, and if anything, were even worse. The right to issue coinage was an almost unchallenged privilege of the empire, but already in the Middle Ages, it had become illusory since rights were farmed out and imperial money was at the same time prohibited. What? Imperial money was at the same time prohibited? There followed the farming out of the right to strike coins, and then, after the 11th century, the similar farming out of other rights connected with coinage. Oh. I was kinda lazy on making coins on my world building. I was kinda lazy on the world building of coins on my system. Just made some like cute coins of different levels, and then stamped it out on like the whole empire. Well, there could be room for like individual coins in different regions and stuff like that, which would actually make things a little more interesting, more personalized, more special. It's always nice to add some cute little details for each region, like maybe a more independent region. One second, I'm writing something over here. uh, Hold up, I need to write something else. Just a little more, one more thing. Huh? Wait. Let me check. What's the meaning of this word? I'm about to write something to someone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I was just saying. I've only made like just one universal coin. No, just for the Empire. The characters have not gone out of the Empire, so they haven't actually meant different coins, but I could actually add something like this to the rest of the story. Because in the Empire itself, it's like a bunch of collected kingdoms have been dominated, and they've been allowed remain as kingdoms, so there could be like some special conditions for each region, but I made them a bit too homogenized. Is homogenized a word? It's actually homogenized. Homogenic or homogenized? Homogenic. Homogenic is a song, an album from Björk. Is it an actual word? I want. Please, I want a word. Yes, it's an actual word, homogenic. Make them a bit homogenic, so it's like a wasted opportunity to make some interesting things with coins. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I still remember a comment like early on saying, "Yeah, that's it. That's the thing with the coins." Like, yeah. I mean, what else do you want? I don't know. It's just simple coins, like just 4 types of coins. The commenter, the reader, did not actually explain himself very well of what he wanted, but now I get it. What was the actual issue? That's why you need to pay attention to what the reader says, because they complain about something but don't exactly do directly what they're complaining about. Don't think what they're saying at face value. Take their complaints as an issue that you need to look into. Why are they feeling that way? The reader feeling like the coins were just boring. My coinage system was boring in my story. So the direct solution would be to add more complex coins. No, the solution would be to make coins different in each region, because it's an empire with different kingdoms who had their own coin system, will likely have their own little local laws exclusively to their regions. So that could have made things, that could make the coins more interesting, make them have some value. Differences between the regions, like special coins, and would create a need for a how do you call it in English? Exchange system? Yeah, exchange. Also, I should be using this screen for that. I should be using this screen for that. Wow. Wait, am I showing my favorites bar? Am I showing my favorites bar? No, I'm not. Okay, just gotta watch out for the suggestion, search suggestion. That could be dangerous. Yes. Well, the word was like it's this cambio, which is exchange. It's not a word we use a lot in Portuguese. So, well, exchange is more common in games, I guess. So I was confused. Anyway, let's actually start continuing. Farming out the rights. Yeah, they just sold the rights to make coins. The Empire just sold the rights to make coins, but the Empire itself was not making enough coins. I think that's the thing. Therefore, the farming out the rights start coins, and then after the 11th century, the similar farming out of other rights connected to coinage. The right to determine the content of coins. Jesus, the right to dispose of coinage at will, such as the right to remortgage or redispose of acquired coinage privileges. Man, this makes things complicated. The right to determine the content of coins. Imagine you have the right to determine the content of coins and not the other rights, and then you can fuck someone by making changes to the rules. The right to dispose coinage at will, which means you can drive up the value whenever you want. If you can dispose of coins and make them more harder to acquire, they go up. Like, well, it's not like an instant automatic system, but you can make things more expensive like this, which can benefit you. Yes, even this one you can definitely profit out of this. Like, Jesus, it's greed. It's just plain greed to every level. Just plain greed at every level. Can I hear the music? Let's see. Now I'm looking at my OBS and the music is so low. Could I add a compressor to filter? Would that actually work? Is that compressor? Let me see. Oh, it's Minecraft music. I'm not exactly sure how to mess with the compressor filter. Might as well leave it here. Okay. Beginnings of the more important princes. Oh. Okay. Ignorance of the more important princess to obtain coinage rights was as unbounded as their desire for thrones. The only condition limited to privileges was the fact that actually. Okay, this one is actually an interesting quote, and I have way too many windows open. God. Man, I hate this thing. I hate copying from PDF. I hate copying from PDF. It's always so bad. I can delete this one. I can delete this one. Religious. The only condition limited privileges was the fact that, like the thrones, still confined to particular places, but the limitation disappeared by degrees after beginning of the 14th century, and apart from certain powers, largely of symbolic nature, the emperor ceded to the territories unlimited authority of coinage. Ooh, unlimited authority. Same authority was then extended by different methods not only to the imperial cities but also to many under the control of the princess. And to complete the story, the emperor had to undertake not to coin money himself, not to allow anybody, besides the princess, coinage of money within their territories. When returns arrived at the stage from which France set out. From a country, imperial coinage was excluded from all large independent regions, and in the latter, the vassals instead had to give up first the original monopolistic right of coinage, and then their coinage rights altogether. The German princes were even powerful enough to impede that development, which in France, by the operation of Grecian's law, allowed the competition of the royal coinage to become all-powerful. This fact is particularly noticeable in two great charters, which Frederick II granted respectively to the spiritual and temporal princes in 1220 and 1231-32. Kind of an interesting situation where in modern times you just look like, what? Every country has their own coin, and even in Europe they are even unifying their coin in between countries. But then you look at medieval times, each region had their own coin. Each region had their own coin, and the state coin was actually banned, was actually not good, they actually fought against because the princes had too much power. It is an interesting system. It is like the author said this before. The author had mentioned this before. What did he call it? The feudalization, the counter dissolution was not actually dissolution, but it was like the breaking up of regions into smaller places where each place was its own local things. That's like the feudalization. Because each ruler wanted their own piece, so they would break everything up and break away from the superior laws and continue this splitting up into smaller and smaller pieces, each region being their own little kingdom, being their own little special, even distinct, their own little distinct area with their own culture, with their own laws and things like that, because that benefited the rulers. That benefited like the smaller rulers more. So they had an impetus to do that. While in modern times, things are not super perfectly unified. There's like autonomous regions and places with regions with special laws. You can see this in like in autonomous regions. Can we take a quick look? Regions. List of autonomous areas by country. Hong Kong, Ireland, Northern Ireland. Okay. Created by internal statutes. Azerbaijan, China. Autonomous prefecture. What's the point of this? Why are there so many of these in China? Autonomous prefectures are mostly majority Han Chinese by population. So, for example, Kazakh. But why? Why they do that? France, yeah, France has things. Greece, India, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I know one in Spain. Is there one in Spain? Portugal, Russia, Serbia. Oh, Kosovo. Is there not one in Spain? I don't think there's one in Brazil. Oh, there is. The Lujar, yeah, there's quite a lot of them. All subnational regions are autonomous. Oh. Interesting. What about the United States? Guam, Virgin Islands, American Samoa. Okay. Dependent and associated territories with autonomy. Yeah, there's still quite a lot, but nowhere near as what it was in medieval times. Or how it was in medieval times. Man, I have too many windows, what the fuck? Promise, new coinage, we shall neither do nor allow to be done anything that will injure it in the way that coinage is usually confused and appreciated through the imitation of coins. We shall rigidly prevent. Yeah, that's another thing. Copying coins. It would be a lot easier to copy coins in medieval times than in modern times. Because of the level of technology in the paper money we have. Well, you did not need to copy coins, because the value of the coin was in their weight, like in the metals using them. So as long as they are not making fake coins by using lower quality metal or things like that, then yeah, then you're just making more coins. You're just spending money, actually spending the money correctly. It's just that the number of coins in circulation could actually drive up the prices or drive down the prices because of how hard they were to acquire. But if the price of the coin, if the value of the coin depends on its metal, then it's kind of hard to falsify it. And so, while Philip le Bel and his successors were carrying out the policy of coinage appreciation, thereby gaining universal currency for royal coinage, the German princes were receiving guarantees against the encroachment of money worse than their own. The guarantees obviously held good against imperial coinage, but not against that of numerous small territories, who emulated the others in the art of depreciation. Wait, what's... If using this term a few times, did it define the depreciation of the coinage then cease? Okay. Oh god. Reach the end. Can I stop it? Okay, I stopped it. Depreciation of coinage. Okay. Is this something I can Google? I need to remember to lower this. The depreciation of coinage. A fall in the value of a currency in floating exchange rate system. floating exchange rate system goes up. If the money goes up, the supply does. The reverse does come predictably for a variety of reasons. But it's for more modern coins instead of like the older coins. It's like for modern money. Doesn't really apply. It doesn't really apply to medieval money, this sort of thing. Wait, no, 1810. The priest. Ah, damn it. Question. Currency. In the following year, he published a pamphlet on the currency system, which confirmed his reputation as the ablest financier of society, but his free trade principles did not accord with those parted. I don't know. Question concerning the appreciation of a currency. I want to understand this a little bit more, but I want a summary. I want a summary of this. Question concerning. Can I read this? Like, is it supposedly? Oh, okay. Translated, it costs a lot. Holy shit, 100. This one costs money. Can I get something for free? Like, this is like 1800s. 1800s. Can I get something that's like slightly readable for free? It's not a new book. I think place not knowable. Available in the library. Okay, I'm gonna go to what's it called? London. And get it there. Why do I have to buy this book that's 200 years old? Question. Oh, don't translate this. Oh, what is this money? R. What is this money? What? What is this coin? R for it. It costs 489 Rs. Nice. Science Direct. Can I? Abstract. Investigate the long-term. Wait, what? Ah, that's not the. That's not what I want. Okay. William. Oh. The appreciation. This one costs money. Good reads. Please. This is like. This is an old book. Can I get the original somewhere? Please. I just want view holdings. Not for long. Okay. You know what? Just one thing over here. Let me just get one thing that I can't actually show over here. This could actually be more. Oh. Is this it? question preface. Okay. This might actually be it. It's a scan. For the 1819. Jesus Christ. Question concerning... Satan... What the fuck is this title? It's like the question... The question concerning the depreciation of our currency. Dated and examined. what a ugly ass title. Preface. What else can I... Preface. Jesus Christ, this is a big preface question. Oh damn. How many pages there's this shit? A few 100 and let me just quickly read the preface a little bit. On the circumstances of my having been a member of the Bullion Committee and from its being known to several of my friends that I had... Wait. Bullion controversy. The Bullion controversy. The Bullion controversy was pamphlet debate about money, banking, and the standard of value. Sample cookies. Prompted by the publication of a report of the Select Committee on Bullion, better known as the Bullion Report, in June 1810, and lasting to the recommendations of the report were defeated in the House of Commons in May 1812. At least 800 pamphlets on this subject were published between... Ooh. Did a rise in the price of gold mean that money was depreciated? Did increases in banknotes cause inflation? But they also ask larger questions. How is the economy affected by war? How are paper and gold related? Value determined by labor or desire? What about the land? What is money anyway? What is money anyway? Let me move this a little bit. Yeah, I don't like that it's getting on the chat. What is money anyway? What must we for a standard own by which the price of things are known? All time passed by men of sense. Shilling, pounds, and pence. The bank has said, and so still, does nothing but a paper bill, doesn't Sir Francis Burdett's head. Standard is a loaf of bread. On Smith, they always say it was the labor of a day. Oh, I think they're introducing bank bills, paper money. I think that was the introduction of paper money, and people are like confused about... People are like worried about money losing... Money, the value of money going crazy. Because what is the standard? What does one coin, what does one paper bill of a bank means? The standard is a loaf of bread. One Sir Francis says that the standard of a, I don't know, coin or paper bill should be a loaf of bread. Well, and this means says that a coin for a day of labor, or a bill for a day of labor. Interesting. A debate about mankind and the standard of value prompted by the publication. Okay. When the debate really got underway, commentators were disparaging the Bullion controversy as a confusing mess. Can I actually find something more about this Bullion controversy? What is Bullionism in history? Bullionism describes the belief that the price of gold measured in domestic currency is an appropriate indicator of inflation and the depreciation of the currency caused by an excess supply of money. Bullionist, what was the Bullionist controversy? Okay. Was always thinking about writing something, never did. How you doing, man? Hello, not important, Jake. I am doing fine, just going on a tangent over here about money. I had my curiosity tickled. So now I was reading the book, but then they call up depreciation of coinage, and then I was like, end up on a whole tangent over here, reading about when the coins were starting to get bullionist controversies emerging in the early 1800s regarding whether or not paper notes should be made convertible to gold on demand. Yeah, this is when paper bills were starting to take over the coins. That's interesting. Money is a bitch sometimes. Money is a bitch all the time. I fucking hate money. I hate my bank, not because they're bad, but just because I hate dealing with bank and I hate dealing with money. Please, I need a sugar mommy to pay all my bills, so I don't have to worry about money. And then I just give her all my money, and she manages our money. And I trust that she's not stealing money or something like this. I need a sugar mommy or something like that. Fuck money. Hate money. Always thinking about writing something. Well, writing is a very easy way to start dealing with your creative inputs, creative impulses. If you have the need to create, I try to do art, I try to do music, I try to do a lot of other ways of dealing with my creative impulses, creative desires, but it was writing that was actually managed to get me into it for real. It was writing that actually managed to get me into it for real, because it's easy to start, and it's harder for people to criticize writing. It's harder for people to criticize. Well, if you see a drawing and it's a shitty drawing and people are like, yeah, that looks like a child's drawing, that should like those crowd scribbles. But then you look at the story, and so many people read shitty stories that it's a lot more easier on the psyche. But it's also a bit difficult to improve, because when you get into it, writing can take so much time. Like I'm doing here, I'm spending 30 hours just studying mercantilism for my story, for the world building of my story, to come up with a plot, a more economical plot in the story about managing a region, just to give you more real realism. So you can go pretty hard on the details and trying to improve yourself. What makes the gold standard is a weird thing. What makes gold expensive? If not its rarity. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not an economist, so I'm looking. So I'm kind of I have nothing to start or end. So that's why I'm studying this, because I know zero about economy. I don't even know where to start. Like I just copied the economy of how I made the economy of my books. I just copy it. So that's why I chose a book to actually study. It's about economy. It's not because my story is not exactly feudalism. It's a bit after that, like the evolution of the level of the economic development. So what comes after that? Well, mercantilism, and then comes modern times. Well, my teachers and some other people that have read my stuff said it's good, just usually very short. I'm a comp sci guy, just with a lot of general knowledge. That's nice. That is nice. Yeah, the thing, yeah, like you can spend a lot of time. You can spend way too much time on writing to get to something. To get something that's like spend quite a lot of time to get something that's consumed very quickly. So that's my main issue with being a writer. Time. I need time to write up to the quality that I want. That's the thing that I like the most. Which I think is, you can if you're like an artist, I guess you can make things more faster, and then they last longer. You don't need to spend that much time just on creation. I don't know. It's kind of writing is kind of a weird beast, I would say. Just write things down without much of a thought. Usually, yeah. Once you get, yeah, that's the thing. If you wanna get into some, if you have, keep it short. always keep it short. If you're doing as a hobby, something on the side, always keep it short. Because once you start getting long, like I am super long. My story is one of my stories already longer than Game of Thrones itself, and there's not as much plot and things happening on it. It's a lot of it's a very slow story, but it's already longer than Game of Thrones itself by word count. By word count, not by time writing. I write way so much faster than George R. R. Martin. But my biggest problem is keeping my notes straight and remembering all of the details that I've already written. Because there's already so much, I keep forgetting about things. So I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm losing the grip of my own story because of how much details I've introduced in it. So keep it simple, keep it short, unless you want to get crazy on it like I am. Game of Thrones is a good book here. Well, it's an entertaining book. It is extremely entertaining and gripping. It's kind of sad actually, even because he made a story. George R. R. Martin made a story that was like so powerful that took over the mainstream for a while. But then the Game of Thrones show happened, and then the last seasons happened, and they were so bad that the Game of Thrones basically disappeared out of mainstream. You can still see things like Harry Potter is still popular, but Game of Thrones, nah, not even games or anything else. I never watched the shows. Me neither. I watch only I think season 6 or something, and by then it was starting to get bad. It was starting to get bad. Had to stop at the second. Well, the first few seasons are good because they use the book. It's a good story, honestly. Very entertaining. But very brutal. Very brutal. Which was novel at the time. It's Game of Thrones is basically a knockoff Tolkien, so nah, I don't think so. Tolkien is way too much mystical than mythology. Game of Thrones is political and harsh. They have a very harsh, realistic look at a life. That's basically it. Tolkien is very heavy on mythology, and Game of Thrones is way political. Game of Thrones is like the Dark Souls of political novels, with how rough everything is. It's also a story that's the good thing that they did was that they wasn't afraid to kill characters. I'm still afraid of killing my characters because it's kind of nice to have them. They bring unique flavor to the stories. He just stays classy with it. It's very little magic, honestly, on magic and mythology on Game of Thrones until even when there's like the most magical things happen. It's still very little compared to the things that Gandalf does, at least. It is very low magic setting. Yeah, if you could look at it, it's a very low magic setting. Let's see, 10 minutes until ads. Oh shit! I needed to measure my glucose levels. I'm gonna have a little snacky soon. Let's go. I needed to measure this like 30 minutes ago, but I kind of forgot. At the start of the stream, actually. I should have measured it at the start. But I forgot. Yeah, it's okay. I need to... After I take a snack, I need... before I eat a snack, I'm gonna have to... take some insulin. I'm type 1 diabetic, so... I need to measure my glucose and measure my food. Weigh my food. Like Tolkien more. Well, Tolkien's politics live in the world building, while Martin's are in the people. Yeah. There's not a lot of politics even in Tolkien. There's very little politics in Tolkien, all things considered. More about the adventure and the character. Yeah, the characters, yeah. No, the adventure itself, not exactly the characters themselves. It's the adventure. It's been a while since I read Tolkien though. I like Tolkien more. I had some troubles reading Tolkien because of the way it's written. I should reread it one day. Let me take a look. Reading streams. Reading streams. Where's my list of reading streams? Do I have Tolkien? I should add Tolkien to my list. Reading streams. Tolkien books. Tolkien books. But I'm doing a study. I have a lot of have a few choices of storybooks, novel books to read on stream, but I'm on my study arc. Still have a lot of study before I choose to read one of those things. Though I could add one just for fun. Could add one just for fun. Anyway, I'm listening to ASMR on the side, but I need to change the ASMR that I'm listening to. This one is starting to annoy me. I need the ASMR on my ears to study, otherwise I can't deal with it. I need Hades 2 technical test. Oh, you're making Hades 2 now. Interesting. Yeah, okay. This one. This one seems like it's... Even though I love ASMR, it starts to get a little bit grating on my ears if I listen for it too long. There you go. This one is a lot more soothing. I am not hearing the music. If the music is too loud or too low, please tell me. Please tell me. Yeah, I was a teenager. I was a teenager when I read Tolkien, so I need to read it again. I like the world building. I did not really care too much about this. About the way it was written itself was kind of difficult to read. But I really love the world of Tolkien. ASMR doesn't work on me. That's unfortunate. It used to give me so many crazy things like at the beginning. Now I'm mostly immune to them. But if I stay a few days without a couple of days without listening to ASMR and then I listen again, it makes me so suited. It suits me so much. It's pretty good. It's not. Sometimes it makes me sleepy. It's not really like a sleeping tool for me, but it really is a relaxation tool for me. I am addicted to kisses ASMR because it feels like sometimes it makes me get some tingles in the back of my neck, like it feels like they're kissing my neck, you know? That's so good. That feels so good. And because I'm a writer, I need to be relaxed and calm to write. But sometimes I get too relaxed and then it loses. And then it starts to get in the way and I have to stop listening to ASMR. But anyway, it's time to actually get back to reading. I want to... This one seems to be simpler. 1694, the instigation... The instigation William Paterson and the ascent of the new Dutch King of England, William III, a new joint stock company, the Bank of England, was formed to help finance the government's borrowing. 1695, the Bank of Scotland was incorporated in 96, proposed by John Briscoe and Hugh Chamberlain for a national land bank, an equivalent note-issuing bank for the English provinces, required secured by land rather than gold, failed to get off the ground. Besides lending to the government, the Bank of England's principal line of business was the London discount market, that is, discounting commercial bills of exchange. The English currency crisis of 95 and 98 lowered confidence in Bank of England notes. Sure of confidence, in 1704, government passed laws making promissory notes legally enforceable. This did not prevent a crisis and run on the bank. In 1707, so in 1708, Parliament passed an act prohibiting private companies with more than 6 partners from issuing promissory notes anywhere in England. See bubbles. The Bubble Act prohibited the formation of joint stock companies without a royal character. England was consequently reduced to a single note issuant joint stock bank, Bank of England, and a myriad of small private partnerships banks, which did not issue notes in London. And in London, there was a plethora of country banks which issued notes. You Bye, mate. Have fun reading on Sunday. Thank you, Jake. Thank you for passing by and talking to me. I appreciate that. Have fun. Good luck or work hard with whichever you need to do now. Yeah, I stalled like an hour and I barely read the book. I've just been reading random other stuff and I barely read the book. Now I'm curious about this bullionist debate because I couldn't introduce it to my story. There's banks on my story. I could issue banks, promissory notes and things like that and start a switch into paper money. Rumors that French soldiers had landed on English soil led to a widespread bank run in Britain. Customers hurried to the banks demanding immediate redemption of their notes in gold bullion. The counterbanks failed, and on Saturday, the Bank of England reported its gold reserves were reduced to 1.1 million, and it was likely to face a bank run when it opened on Monday. The government issued an order in council the next day suspending the convertibility of banknotes to cash until Parliament could address the issue. A run to the bank, yeah, this is kind of like a common thing that I've heard a lot happening. It can still happen to this day and wreck banks. Bank Restitution Act, extending fixed restitution until 6 months after the finalization of a stable peace treaty with France. Resistance was properly averted, but some commentators believe the government should have restored convertibility immediately after the invasion panic subsided. An intellectual debate that proceeded immediately as lawyers, bankers, and statesmen lined up for and against the maintenance of convertibility of notes into gold. On the other hand, there were the bullionist group, which argued for convertibility. Arrayed on the other side were the anti-bullionists, who preferred the status quo of suspension. The bullionist argument was straightforward. Banks are not required to convert notes into gold, then they will be tempted to issue notes in excess of the gold in their vaults. This would lead to an excess supply of money and hence, by their view, a cheapening of the price of money. In other words, inflation. They argued that to avoid inflation, required convertibility of notes into gold should be restored. Among the prominent spokesmen of the bullionist were John Whitley. In contrast, the anti-bullionists appealed to some form of the old real bills doctrine. Given the peculiar long experience of Scottish banking with convertibility, thus authorship is not surprising. Banknotes, were issued by banks in exchange for merchants' bills of exchange. As long as the repayment of these bills of exchange is credible, then no more banknotes will be issued than what is required by merchants. In short, the demand for banknotes by commerce is itself limited by the needs of trade. Hence, even without convertibility, the bank is not going to issue more notes than what commerce demands. Thus, there will never be excess note issue. There happens to be excess issue by accident, however, it still will not cause inflation, as it will return immediately to the banks upon the liquidation of the bills of exchange. This was called the reflux principle, and was part of the real bills doctrine. Among the anti-bullionists who espoused this doctrine, blah blah blah. Though dismissing the bullionist calls for resumption at this stage, citing lack of evidence that the excess issue caused inflation, he also provided an admirable critique of the real bills doctrine. Namely, he asked, who guaranteed the demands of the commerce were limited? Suppose actual capital yield returns higher than the rate of interest charged by the banks. Now merchants demand an interminable amount of notes, however real. Bills offered for exchange into notes, he argued, might not readily be limited, as the real bills advocates argue. Inflation must thus ensue. The bullion... as we're gonna start in a second. The bullionist debate reached its climax in 1810 with the establishment of the Bullion Committee by Parliament, chaired by Francis Horner, including blah 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 blah, inquired into Ricardo's allegations about excess issue. The Bullion Committee's report concluded that excess issue was indeed to blame for a recent bout of inflation, and recommended the immediate resumption to convertibility. However, the report came out too late in the parliamentary session to be considered, and will have to wait a year. In the interim, a veritable battle took place in the pages of the English press, attacking and defending the report. Jesus! Printing of 1811, the report was finally brought up for debate and vote on the parliamentary reform. The act of resumption was resoundingly defeated. Tension soon drifted, as the new problem facing Britain after 1812 was deflation rather than inflation. Economic defeat focused on the Corn Laws. The issues of resumption returned for a second time in 1818 with the establishment of a new committee. Okay. It does not exactly say a lot about
Indeed,
how
let's
they
dive into the
fix
depths
it.
of
It's
pleasure
just that
and
they
unleash our desires
made
without
acts.
restraint. Smash the barriers and
things were
revel
not
in the
fixed.
ecstasy of the night.
Oh shit. I was not listening. Sorry. I may have talked over her saying, what did she say? Because I don't have the audio on my end. No, she said yes. Congrats, Nom Nom Cat. You're getting smashed today. You're getting smashed today, you horny little cat. Non-stop flirting with Lapis. Non-stop flirting with Lapis the last few days. My god, Nom Nom Cat. How could someone be so horny? Not saying it's bad, I'm horny too, but I understand it's Lapis too, but damn. Nom Nom Cat, you are a naughty little cat. Also, sorry, but there's an ad break now, and I need to eat some snackies and drink some coffees. I'll be back in a few minutes. Hello, I'm back. Hi, Pantsu. How you doing? Here to study with us? I'm going on a little bit of a tangent over here. I just want to know what's going on over here. Financial prices of 1825. Monetary reform back on the table. Assign focus on the bank. Clearly a banking system reliant on a single gigantic Bank of England and a multitude of small, vulnerable, weakly capitalized private banks was dangerous for the health of the financial and payment systems, so critical to Britain's commerce and prosperity. In efforts to strengthen the banking sector, the Bank Act authorized establishment of note-issuing joint stock banks outside a radius of 65 miles from London. Under the new law, banking companies could have an unrestricted number of partners who would not enjoy limited liability. Compensate for the loss of its privileges, the Bank of England was allowed to open branches in the province. Joint stock banks. Another term. I have no idea what's going on over here. I have no idea what's going on. So, I'm just gonna go back to reading. Honestly, this is too deep into economics for me. This is too deep into economics for me. Let's just go back to reading. No. Depreciate. Let's just go back to reading because, like, wasting time learning about stuff that's not that interesting. Hi. By the way, I'm not flirting with Lapis. And you're not? Well, right now you're not flirting with Lapis. Right now you're not flirting with Lapis? No, I can't. But I know how you are. I'm actually doing something studying myself over here. Ooh, I'm in the middle of multitask. What are you studying? What are you studying, Pencil? Angry kitty. What are you studying, Pencil? I know you're one of Lapis fans. No, can't. But you will not trade her. You wanted Grammy. You wanted Grammy, but you still came back to her. My defenses lamp just called me hot, which is I'm absolutely not. Well. You're cool with that helmet. I saw that picture too. With that helmet, you look pretty cool. Find yourself a girl who thinks you're cool. Well, that's what everyone over here needs to find, but still. But still. You'll find your biker enjoyer girl one day. Let me eat a Lego snack over here. One of them is a secret, the other is a speedrun tutorial. Secret? How mysterious! Pencil. Grammar is my first love. I was what? Flirting with Lapis? You kind of are. No, we are all Lapis enjoyers over here. But oh yes, cool, yeah. Looking with that helmet and those glasses, you're looking cool. I saw that picture. Take this compliment. You're looking cool. Okay, we're talking about depreciation over here. The people who suffer the most from the chaos were the merchants. The change of coining rights to the cities may therefore be considered as a certain counteraction against the disorder. Foreigners of the whole were rather short-lived. For farming unions, the city achieved some reform, particularly in the Rhine area and generally in Western Germany. Several of the coinage unions attained considerable results. Okay. I'm just gonna start skipping. The Imperial Authority did not altogether close its eyes to this confusion. In fact, it has been rightly said that the Imperial Coinage Regulation must be considered a kind of coinage union, the various independent states. Oh. I'm gonna take some insulin over here. And blah 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 blah. Not interesting. Very much not so interesting over here. On the other hand, the princes naturally employed all the means at their disposal to unify the coinage within their own territories. So the princes were against the coinage of the empire because the imperial coin, the coin from the king, the emperor itself, was they could not abuse it if the coin was from the emperor. The coin was made by the empire, so they refused the imperial coin, but at the same time they tried to unify their own coinage system. Fuck you, I have mine. Fuck you, I want mine. Fuck you, I want mine. What's better for the country? Definitely not your imperial coin. What's better for the country? Oh, your imperial coin. What's better for me? My coin. I'm just gonna give my coin. Everyone, fuck off. The trade in Germany was so great. Oh, actually, let's store this quote over here. Let's actually store this quote. That means because it is important. Not important. It illustrates the situation. Found it possible to exclude, but trade in Germany was so great even then that the hundreds of small regions found it impossible to exclude the money of others. There were incessant complaints. The bad money was brought into the state by merchants and carriers, and the native coin drained away. In practice, the authorities were even incapable of doing away with the local coinages within their own frontiers. Obtained one of Magdeburg, obtained one of its own, even after its incorporation in Brandenburg, Prussia, in the year 1680. But the prize must be awarded to the tiny Duchy of Oldenburg, which still had 4 independent coinage systems as late as 1810, when it was incorporated by Napoleon in the French Empire. Why you blushing? Why you being shy over there? No. Huh? Why you being shy?
Oh, darling, your allure is undeniable. Your radiance captivates me. Your opinion matters greatly, for your beauty sets my desire ablaze.
See? Your beauty sets her desires ablaze. Her loins are on fire. Grimory's loins are on fire when she sees you, Nom Nom Cat. Believe in the Grammar who believes in you. Believes in the Grammar who believes in you. Who needs more in this world than Grammar, huh? Well, I need Lapis, but still. Grammar is what we all need. God damn it, stop sending me those ads. Keep passing my phone full of notifications of ads. You realize it's quite the opposite. Oh no, can't. Let me do a little thing over here because it's fucking annoying me with ads, my cell phone. Oh my god. I look at my email and there's like bank ad. Can you stop sending me those ads, bank? Oh, if you don't want more of those emails, call us on our give us a call. Fuck giving you a call. God damn it. Fuck you guys. I need to do a little thing because it's annoying me over here. I'm just stalling. I'm just stalling. Huh? What? Is this not here? Why is this? Okay. God damn it. No. This is Microsoft. Okay. What? Ah! Fuck's sake, give me the password. Give me my own password. Live. Oh, there you go. Why you call live? Why is Microsoft called live.com, login.live? Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? And... Please tell me that I wrote my password. That's the problem of having a... What? Someone wrote the wrong password too many times. Login blocked. Can you... fucking... commit seppuku for me, please? Okay. I'm just gonna remove this app. Gonna remove this account. Oh, now now I can log in. Microsoft, please. Microsoft, please. Okay, now it's done. Jesus Christ. I unread myself. What the hell? Love yourself. Love yourself, Noman Cat. That's an order. You're gonna love yourself, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna make you love yourself. We're gonna make you love yourself. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 millions in my bank account. Oh damn. Millions, 8 millions. Millions of what? Millions of what? Pencil. Do you wanna be a sugar little bro to someone? Is that what your intentions about bragging your money? Are you looking for a boy wife to have? A slave in your house? Is that what you're looking for? Anyway, I better stop stalling and finish that. I'd be like, almost half the stream is gone and I barely read that shit. I pay you to become your little boy wife. You're gonna pay me? Nice. Oh man, I found it. Now I made it. Later, nerd. I'm gonna become the boy wife. I'm gonna become the little boy wife. Boy wife services. I wish I could sell myself like that. Man, if I was a girl, I'd have an OnlyFans. If I was a girl, I'd have an OnlyFans. But now I have to sell my body as a boy wife to make ends meet. This one is... Wait, and so finally a purely ideal monetary unit was arrived at. Based not on tangible coins, but on claims to a certain amount of precious metal. Oh. Oh, okay. This northern decay was so complete that only such a coinage systems as could never be corrupted by those empowered could help. And the possibility of implying some kind of international coinage for trade would then have arisen. In fact, such a possibility occurred frequently, but even this kind of coinage was liable to be corrupted through imitation. So finally, a purely ideal monetary unity was arrived at. Oh, this is an interesting one. OnlyFans is for true main whores. I'll do that shit for free. No. Yeah, if I was a girl, I'll do that for free. If I was a girl, I'll do OnlyFans for free. Oh man. No. But no, you got if I was a girl, I'll do OnlyFans content for free. But you need to find a way to get some money though. You still need to find a way to get some money. Wait, let me say something. Okay. I need to make a quote out of this. This system code could never be such a coinous system was so complete that only such a coinous system as could never be corrupted by those empowered could help. This is an important. Only a coinous. The disorder and confusion was so much for all the ages that they needed something that could not be corrupted, because every section we've read so far over here says that everything they did was eventually the royal families were in control of the economy, and the royal families were part of the problem because they were fucking up with the economy themselves. So even the people in power are a problem. We should collab if that happens. A collab, an OnlyFans collab. I wonder how that would be like. Definitely will not be good for Twitch. Virgin Twitch will definitely not be able to deal with that. Also, I should. There we go. No, wait. Let me bothering me that it's not side by side. Okay. There we go. Now it is side by side. So I got 50-year-old cavity in my mouth. Oh, I didn't go to the end because I'm late. It doesn't hurt anything. So I got a new crown. Feel weird having it eat. God, the 15-year-old cavity. Ish. I should go to the doctor. I should go to the dentist more. I'm also one that's not. I haven't been on a dentist in a while. I don't have any tooth pain, yeah, so maybe I should get my teeth checked down. I don't want to lose my teeth. My dad needs fake teeth because he didn't care his teeth. So I already have an example, and I still don't go to the dentist. That is, I do brush my teeth a lot, so I hope that will be enough. Dentist, but Asian only go there if absolutely need to. Well, I guess we're the same over here in South America. Fuck dentists. Literally only if they're hot. Only had one cavity once. Never had any cavities. But I also needed to use braces, so I was going to the dentist quite often. I needed to use dentist, so I needed to have braces, so I had to go to the dentist quite often, which allowed them to spot anything that might have been happening, but not really. They never had anything. Never had anything happen. I guess I'm lucky. And I had 4 wisdom to remove all in one go. Ooh, 4 of them. I only had 2 on one side. Because they're getting in the way of more teeth growing. Only had wisdom to remove on one side. Doing on all 4 was being horrible. Lap is suffering through that now. So. Ooh! That sounded like a horrific time. Like she's having a horrific time. Anyway, there's another quote here that I should oh, finally. Purely. There we go. This is here. There we go here. A monetary system based on notes. Well, claims to a certain amount of precious metal. Of coins. Claims to a certain amount. Something similar, but proves signal importance when applied to hopeless monetary confusion. It's so important. This is when we started to arrive, which is when the coins started to die out. Other spheres. Okay, no, I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna skip this. Now, I think we're finally... Now we finally finish coinage. They do not explain very well, like... It just made a point, the book just made a point that the coin system was a mess everywhere, but did not exactly explain very well how it went from coin system to the banknote system. What do you call it? Banknotes? What do you call it in English, this? It went from coins to banknotes. Yeah, exactly, banknotes. Actually, that. The banknotes. You went. This is what the book was talking about. The transition from coin to banknotes, because the coin system was such a mess that they had to unify it into banknotes. And instead of relying on the coins themselves, oh yeah, I guess this is my understanding. Coins were like, they had their own weight, they had their own composition, so they varied depending on how they're made. They varied depending on the rights of the locals. But while a banknote was more universal, because it was based on was a little bit more simplistic, because there was not about weight or how it was made. It was just a value that was tied up to the price of to how much of a precious metal you had. So it removes the way it was made and it removes the weight. Now you just have the number. It simplified things. Even though you could have different notes from different banks, now you have a universal. I think that's more exchangeable, interchangeable between banks, because this bank says that it has this amount of a gold in its bank, so their coins are like this. This other bank has so their banknotes valued as is the value of this. Or this other bank has this amount of gold in its coffer, so their banks are of this value. Like one note means 10 grams of gold or something like this. Or this other bank means 5 grams of gold. So you have a more straightforward mathematical conversion between them. Well, if you have two coins, one coin is of a weight and of a material, and the other coin is of another weight and a material. So how do you transfer the value between them? Now this banknote system was more universal. Negotiable promissory note made by a bank or a licensed authority, payable on the bearer on demand. And you can also even take it, because they are legally required to have this amount of a metal on the bank. If you trade your money with someone else, you can just go on the bank and get the gold, get the precious metal, because that's what they claim. They claim that this means this amount of gold. So the value is more stable. The value is more stable and more easily interchangeable between places and people. By commercial banks, which are legally required to redeem the notes for legal tender, usually gold or silver coin, are presented to the chief cashier of the regional bank. These commercial banknotes only traded at face value in the market served by the issuing bank. Commercial banknotes have primarily been replaced by national banknotes issued by central banks for monetary return. Yeah, and then you just, instead of having each bank with their own banknotes, it benefits everyone if you have a central bank controlling everything. So you don't have to do this calculation about between values. Today, most natural currencies have no backing precious metals, commodities. They have value only by fiat. What's fiat? It's not such as gold or silver. It's typically designated by the issuing government to be legal tender. It is authorized by government regulation. What do you mean legal tender? Fiat money does not have intrinsic value, does not have use value. It has value only because individuals use it as a unit of account. Or in the case of currency, a medium of exchange agreeing on its value. It can also be accepted by merchants and other people as a means of payment for liabilities. Okay. Fiat money is a currency that has an intrinsic value because it contains, for example, precious metal. It also differs from representative money. It is money that has intrinsic value because it's backed by and can be converted into a precious metal or another commodity. Oh, commodity money are the coins. Because in the money itself there is a precious metal. The representative money means is the money that's like what I was saying, the banknotes. Which they represent that you can trade this money for a certain amount of metal or commodity. Fiat money looks similar to representative money. The former has no backing, while the latter represents a claim on a commodity. Kind of want to understand how did fiat money come into being, because fiat money is only backed by the government. Some suspend the dollar convertibility to gold. Illegal tender. Okay. Oh, they force fiat money to be accepted. Why? Why? Fiat money does not have any value on it, so how do you what's the word? How much do you measure the worth of fiat money? You force it. You force it to be used. It's neither convertible to a certain or anything else fixed in value term. You force it to be usable. A central bank to anything else nor fixing value in terms of any objective standard. Money used because of government decree. Yeah, you force it to be used. Okay, fiat. The name of fiat money comes from the Latin word, means let it be done, using the sense of order decree. Exactly as I was saying. It has value because it's forced by the government to have value. Nixon shock. Wage and price fixes, personal and unitary cancellation on the international convertibility of the United States dollar. Bretton Woods. Okay. Why did he suspend the convertibility? And why did everyone accept it? Free floating fiat currencies. What's a floating exchange? Floating soft pegs. So they peg the value. A current's value is fixed or pegged by a monetary authority against the value of another currency. Oh, okay. So it's its value is depends on other value. No. All these the green ones are independent value. They float because of reasons. Because of complex economic reasons. Damn it. Economics is such a weird fucking... I'm fascinated by economics because it's so abstract. And yet at the same time it makes so much sense. But current economics is so complex that it is kind of like a nightmare to understand it. Current economics is such a nightmare. Yeah. Economics. I fucking hate money. I hate banks. I hate economy, but it's fascinating to try to understand how things work. Like I have this desire within me to just learn this I desire to know more. I must know more. Which is why I do this. Which is why I've been like on a tangent for most of the stream, because it's entertaining, it's interesting, but it's also so complicated. Background, criticism, decline. It results in an asymmetric financial. Because it feels like it's like, how does it work? It just does. Economics follows the what's it called? Todd Howard from Bethesda. Economics follow the Todd Howard maxim. It just works. Somehow it just works. 1971. What about legal tender, fiat money, instant shock? Wasn't there a floating exchange rate? Residual of their management hard banked. I wanted to know what's the difference between these two. Kinda want to understand, what did they do? Camp David. Oh, I heard about this. Self-confidence, Connolly. Funny actions. Nixon directed. Spin. Good window. $90-day freeze on wages and prices in order to counter inflation. The Nixon shock. Oh, because of the recession. The instability of floating currencies. Jesus Christ, yeah, this is too complex. Stock exchange is another thing that I kinda don't really understand. And what was going on historically at the time. Price gouges, they were suffering before he did this, but how did the fiat currency? Well, it's not actually necessary for me to understand this. My system is definitely gonna... My word, my writing, my world building, my stories are definitely not gonna have a fiat system. That's kind of advanced. Or a stock system. Or a stockbroker. Wait, where's the stock? Stock exchange. When did he actually... Stock exchange. When did they actually come up with? Annoying me. Stock exchange. History. The beginnings of lending. Fuck me. When is the first stock exchange? Stock. Corporate stock. There's a legal consensus as to when it was first traded. 1602. Amsterdam is often considered the oldest modern. Here it is, mad. When was it founded? 1602. Damn. Yeah, it doesn't seem like 1600s. That could 1600s could be like a year where it's like advanced enough for my world, but I don't really want to deal with this. Maybe one day I will actually... Maybe one day I'll actually try to understand this more. It's kind of I kind of find it interesting this fiat money, understanding how it works, because there's a lot of how do you call it, conspiracies. What do you call it? Is it just conspiracies, like those fake weird conspiracies about fiat money and the value of money? Money is, let's go back to the gold standard and things like that. So I was like, wait, I remember this. I remember hearing about this, but I don't understand it, so I just left it back. I want to understand it more. Accordingly, the value of fiat money is greater than the value of its metal or paper content. Fiat money is an intrinsically valuable object or record that is accepted widely as a means of payment. But like, this is the thing that I don't understand. How can people accept a valueless object as a means of payment? Like, where's the standard for it? What controls the value of it? The ups and downs of it? That's so wild, so abstract to me. It triggers my neurons. And it also makes me kind of understand where there's conspiracy theorists, like why those conspiracy theorists go against fiat money. Because they don't really understand themselves, like I am. I don't really understand how fiat money is a thing. And why. And why is it actually better than the gold standard? But I don't, and they try to explain, because they're not smart enough to actually understand economics. They create their own answers. They create their own answers to explain their confusion, because they need to find an answer, but they can't. So they just make one, and it's easier to create a conspiracy related to something you don't understand than just accept that you don't understand it, or try to just accept what the expert is saying to you, because they value their own intelligence too much. They value their own intelligence too much. Anyway, I don't really like talking about conspiracy theories, some other stuff, so let's just move on for this. Let's actually go back to the book. Most of this, it's time to actually read about the guilds. It's time to actually read about, we're here, coinage. There's like other spheres, but importance of change from municipal to national policy. The interesting friends. The guilds as the principal engines in the regulation of industry. Oh man, I kind of wanna just take a look. There's like how many pages? We're like 124 and 140. They're like 24 pages, 26 pages until we get to the guilds. Ah, shit. Okay. Let me just quickly go through this shit. Wait, what? This is not the right page. God damn. This is not the right page. I clicked on it and it did not send me to the right page. Other spheres. I think it's this one. Kitchen Give It Territory really reveals only a small portion of the total task which feudalism left to the unifying efforts of the ruling powers of the continent. Let me eat a little sweet over here, and I'm just gonna keep reading in silence while I eat. Just 1 minute. Sorry. A little peanut went into the tip of my throat. Oh god. Okay, this one is funny. A unified system would certainly have yielded the state a much greater revenue, but the old method of snatching, but wherever lay to hand was followed. Yeah, because they could not actually wait. They kind of knew. They kind of knew what was best for the country. They just could not wait until they could get their hands on it. And because they just wanted to now. It's a bit like how current companies are working. They know what will give better results in the future, but they just want now. They just want money now. They just snatch their hands. They can they just put their hands and snatch whatever they can grab. The vital point, however, was that the central government had insufficient authority over the various local bodies, and so the provincial organizations which survived could obstruct most important changes. Now, vital point. Just a lack of authority. Let me quickly save the notes, just in case I lose it. More important, perhaps, is the fact that the state administration hardly functioned at all in the spheres of finance. Well, these quotes are too funny. It's always the author going, they were so incompetent in every aspect, shape, or form. That's why nothing worked. Oh, they had to buy their office, or they're forced to do so. Lunch, whether they like it or not. Oh, this one is interesting. The large majority of the ordinary officials and judges had to buy their office, and they were forced to do so whether they liked it or not. A large number of offices were passed down by hereditary succession, so that state service too was exercised largely in the form of private rights. A new kind of feudalism thus grew out of the financial disorder, and France arrived once again at the starting point. It is therefore rather astonishing that French state officials were nevertheless able to work as efficiently as they did, and especially that they were interested enough in their task to support, especially in the 18th century, the ideas of reform. So we look at the modern's ideas of justice and laws and think, wow, this sounds fair. Like we have a thing with fairness and being fair and even-handed in justice. And then you look at the past and how things were. Yeah, offices were hereditary. They did whatever the fuck they wanted. A judge, officials and judges were hereditary. They had to buy their positions. Like, it's so wild how obviously bad things were. But how could you actually control it? Even if it was bad, if everyone knew that it was a bad thing, how would you actually control it? There was not enough, how do you call it? Oversight. There's not enough oversight about how they're doing. Like, you're just a guy in the backwater doing whatever. Who's gonna go against you? It's just your word versus the word of some dirty peasants. Or some little merchants. How could the big guy fight against you? You are the king. You rule the laws. You are the king. Unless someone wanted to kill you, which it was kind of unlikely. Nobody's gonna mess with you. You're the own king. I think that's an important thing that we have these days with media. We're being able to cancel someone online and point out the corruption and things like that. It becomes a lot more easier to prosecute these people. That is, as long as there's someone in power who cares. As long as there's someone in power who cares. If you look at some of the even worse countries than Brazil, yeah, the people in power don't care. You can put blasts on social media how much as you want. The people in power do not care. They do not even look at social media. They just laugh. So that's why it's still not justice. It's still not a bit of a universal thing. People, god damn it, Bang, stop sending me stupid emails. The people in power, the people in the first worlds, and even people like me, I live a comfortable life in Brazil. I'm not even rich. I just live on a place that's not bad. Even I live a very life full of a very comfortable life, a very non-afraid life of people in power. A non-afraid life of people, a very safe life without having to fear the people in power are gonna just fuck me over randomly, and there's nothing I can do. And I wonder if I should actually. I think I should introduce this into my story, like a bit of a hereditarianism, because the system is good. There's like a good law system in the world of one of my stories, but it's not perfect and it's abusable. So I could introduce some of this sort of stuff over there. Some hereditarianism. No, what you call it? Nepotism. Yeah, some nepotism. I should introduce more nepotism in my stories for the law system, because that's just on brand for something that's more medieval. I'm just gonna gloss over. Here was the swinging of Colbert manifests his administrative talents. The French army? Almost all officers' commissions were purchasable. Oh. Oh, Bulu was succeeded in abolishing the practice of buying them in all grades of the service, except that of captain and colonel. Oh, they could buy ranks, even in the army. That's interesting. I should introduce this. Oh, I need to... hang on, I need to open my writing file and make 2 notes before I forget. And make 2 notes... no, that's not the right one. I need to make these notes. That's the point of... that's the whole point. This shit. Why is it silent, my cell phone? Let me see. It is the hereditary offices and buying offices. I need to introduce this to the story. Notes, 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 notes. Oh god. Where is it? Introduce hereditary offices of law and buying ranks. Offices in army. Yeah, because people put some value. You were a noble. You were above other people. You've had the money for it. That is a concept that's pretty old. You are above other people. You have had the money. So it makes sense that even something like the army full of honor and things like that, people would still buy it. And we're now on another ad break, so I'm gonna stretch a little bit. Be right back. Alright. Back for the last hour. Last 15 minutes. I already wasted 9 minutes. Okay. Being passed. Okay. Criminal process. On the other hand, civil law and the law of criminal procedure was codified in 2 great statutes for the whole realm. Nice. Imperial laws pertaining to commercial colonial laws. Commerce and water law. And a whole series of codifications were completed in the short course of 18 years. Your countries could have achieved more. That's insignificant. Northern ruled by the purely local. Southern. Blah blah blah. Not interesting. Oops, sorry. I hit my mic. I need to change. It's that. Ah, damn it. It's a bit too stuffy and it gets sweaty and annoying. Why is actually an interesting game that I played? I need to use this headset mouse. It just sounds better. But it gets uncomfortable wearing a headset for too long. I have some earphones. Not interesting. Not interesting. In conclusion, we shall endeavor to answer the question which was put at the commencement of this chapter, namely, how far the evolution of the tall system measures the capacity of mercantilism to overcome the kind of disintegration which, for want of a better term, would have doomed feudal. The issue appears to be that every sphere of administration of economic importance had exactly the same characteristics as the tall system. The branches on which the ruling authority lavished greater care and affection showed greater results. Unification and serviceableness came about in those fields where the clear interests of the state demanded them, or appeared to demand them. And on the whole, the ancient regime, although everywhere showing marks of the encroachment of the state, retained the form it had inherited from an earlier period, in which the importance of the state compared with later times was transitory. That was the fate of mercantilism. There remains to be answered an essentially wider, more interesting question. What development out of the species of disintegration which was bound up with medieval city policy? What did mercantilism form out of the important compact body of measures by the aid of which medieval cities endeavored to guide economic life along roads which led to their own interests and ideals? This question will be dealt with in the next 3 or 4 chapters. What the fuck? I've understood exactly 0 out of this chapter. What developed out of the species of disintegration which was bound up with medieval city policy? What did mercantilism form out of the important compact body of measures by the aid of which medieval cities endeavored to guide economic life along roads which led to their own interests and ideals? What? Okay, just gonna ignore this paragraph. This paragraph is a bit more interesting. In every sphere of administration of economic importance had exactly the same characteristics as the tall system. The branches on which the ruling authority lavished greater care and affection showed greater results. Yeah. Of course, kind of obvious. It is basically the ability of the government to maintain and control its own systems. That's what marked a good administration. Let me see. Should I write this? Challenge of administration is my own conclusion. Maintaining same time as neglect leads generation, corruption, and a return to the disunification. Feudalistic disunification. What was the he was calling something disintegration, not disunification, disintegration. Feudalistic, the feudalism disunification. Okay. Not exactly my own conclusion, my own is maintaining. Okay. For the importance of the change from municipal to national policy. I kind of don't wanna exactly skip everything so that I don't lose like some context, because it builds on the previous one. So that's why skipping is scary. Skipping is kind of scary for me. Since medieval town policy was consistent in all its typical aspect, it is not very difficult to describe. The artistic features are among the best known facts in economic history. Nevertheless, it is well to outline them here so as to provide a background for mercantilistic work in this view. Economic principles of policy may be summarized in the following 5 points. The first aim was abundant supplies for the town. Particularly of food and industrial raw materials. For this reason, a very strict watch was kept to prevent any part of the provision of goods. Oh, hang on. Let me check. Just let me check. First thing was abundant supplies for the town, particularly of food and industrial raw materials. For this reason, a very strict watch was kept to prevent any part of the provision of goods from being sidetracked on its way to the municipal market. It was decidedly a consumer's point of view, and its importance is obvious. The urban population, far more than that of the country, the urban population, far more than that of the country, depended on the prestige of other classes of society and other regions, and subsisted by the exchange of goods with sellers living outside the city. But the principle was also applied to the citizens themselves, especially the sellers of indispensable necessaries of life, bankers and butchers. In spite of its narrowness and its tendency to diminish rather than increase the supply of goods, the consumer's standpoint, which is in fact older than municipal policy, has supplied the science of economic policy with one of the foundations of its theory. In other words, it has drawn its attention to the satisfaction of human want, the final aim of economic activity. What? What? Population dependent on the produce of other classes of society. The exchange of goods with sellers living outside. Vital snares. What was this? Very strict watch, okay. So far as it was directed against people outside the town, and consideration for the consumer was unchallenged in municipal policy. And that it affected its own system, that was not so. The point of view of the producers was more important in that sphere. Consideration, blah 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 blah. This was not so. For the point of view, it was pretty. Commerce and manufacture for the native inhabitant. Okay, so the municipal policy was about securing the goods so that there will be no. The first aim of the municipal policy was about securing the goods so there will be no famines or no lack of raw materials. Even when it causes some constraints on the delivery, on the amount, on the supply of these goods, as long as they're even though it could actually tendency to diminish the supply of goods, it was still favored. And the defense was not so. For the point of view, the producer was more important in that sphere. But not to the point it actually consider much of the consumer itself. They just, as long as there were the goods, the consumer could get themselves fucked. Then it was the producers were favored, reserving anything the nature of human industry. There is all. So yeah, instead of like an unreliable over, like for example, instead of having like an unreliable oversupply of goods, which would be good for the consumers, they would rather have a smaller supply as long as it was steady. They don't challenge producing in reserving anything the nature of human industry. That is all trade, commerce, and manufacture for the native. Yes. If it was steady, and the producer had the reserve, as long as the supply was steady, even if it was less supply, the producer could get reservation of his rights. That was important. While an oversupply would benefit consumers, even if it was unreliable. Principally, that is foodstuffs. Still points of view harmonizing trade outside the city in those goods which were definitely for the city's needs, principally that is foodstuffs. Trade was definitely diverted to the city. There was a guarantee the provisions were really assured, or in contemporary terminology, rural trading led to forestalling. The producer's standpoint also made itself widely felt. Because if the farmers traded themselves, it would lead to delay in supply, in delivery of supplies. Cases where the human consumers might have found themselves better served by those outside the town. It was especially prominent whenever the interests of the municipal consumers were not at all affected, that is, where the rural craftsmen worked for outside market. The struggle against rural trading against rural handicrafts lasted at least 700 or 800 years. In Germany in particular, created around the town consisting of a rural area entirely subordinate to the interests of the city. And within this area, all commodities were to go to the city, and no handicrafts were allowed to exist. The producer's point of view was the second focus in the municipal policy. Yeah, they can make some really harsh. That's the thing about medieval laws. They make some really harsh decisions, like no handicrafts within this area. Just absolute. Very oppressive. Which would be kind of like unthinkable today. Like, people do whatever they want. There's no real domination about certain rights. Like, we have a lot of guaranteed freedom that the city, the lawmakers can't take away these days. More than million consideration capital. Provision had to be made to render trade within the city impossible without the cooperation of the citizens. Strangers and foreigners are more euphemistic guests. Manifold restriction. Based on all visitors to the city. Yes, the size to the craft, as well as on merchants of other cities and peasants. Foreign merchants were usually subjected to personal supervision in some form or another, and were prevented from trading one another without the intervention of a native burgher. Okay, I need to make some codes over here. This is kind of interesting. It's some kind of interesting. Usually in the case of goods. Oh. Consumer standpoint, which is fine. Supply. I can't exactly make a code of this. God damn, this one is this one. Okay. This is a huge quote, but whatever. Three was definitely diverted. Trade. Okay, this one is also interesting. Or Stalin. However, in such cases where the gamer consumer might have found themselves barricaded by those outside the town. Never. Okay. Oh shit. This one is out because they were against trade. This one is an interesting shit. But I wanna vision and then provided from tailing. This one is also crazy. I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna add this thing to the story because it's kind of insane. The amount of foreign merchants were usually subjected to personal supervision in some form or another, and were prevented from trading with one another without the intervention of a native burgher. That is an insanely oppressive law. You can't even trade without. I'm not sure about that's just things like that to the story, but it's just interesting. Neither could they partake in retail trade or in a number of other occupations. In particular, the connection with the rural population was cut off as far as possible. Okay. Let's actually grab the whole quote instead of just the one because it's actually interesting. Was also applied to driving as much traffic as possible into the city. Okay, a bit of a random quote without context, but it's interesting because their goals were simple. Their goals were simple, but the way they enforced it was oppressive as fuck. Paddington was also determined by ethical considerations. He was not directly connected with the incident. Social ethics of the Middle Ages. An aspect of the whole policy. Means of subsistence. Wait. Specific factors perhaps this aspect of the whole policy, through which the views of producers exercise the strongest influence. Every person with a calling was to be assured of means of subsistence, according to his social status. Every person with a calling, I need to. Assured of the means, or according to their social status, that's important. According to his social status. Not just, you can do whatever you want. You can survive however you want. You can survive as long as it's within the means of your social status. Competition was therefore definitely be ruled out, or at least circumscribed. While little disparities in the economic position of craftsmen were considered social equals, or it might cause a change in the relative position. Oh shit. Desirable. Oh. Now we're getting to the guilds. The most complete expression of this policy was the handicraft guilds and their counterpart in other spheres. We deny that the various elements in the system often conflicted with one another, as was only to be expected. But the remarkable thing is that they nevertheless formed the nucleus of a uniform policy throughout the number of centuries. How far the authorities were capable of enforcing the regulations is an entirely different question. There is no doubt that the policy was a real one in the sense that it influenced actual events. In other words, the development would have been different if municipal policy had not existed. It is as far from asserting that regulation was, as a rule, effective or attained its numerous ends. It was not even approximately so, although opinions vary widely as regard to the degree to which regulation was forced. The rules conflicted, but as expected, and people don't even know how far the rules were even enforced. Just chaos. The following indicate to how great an extent this policy remained throughout the Middle Ages. Blah blah blah. Also, this was the purpose of the system. Blah 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 blah. Right. Both aspects of municipal policy and the suppression of the rural countryside and the struggle against the competition of foreign cities were in conflict with the economic aims of the state. If the rulers of the state were actuated by the same spirit as those of the cities, then they will have to concede the same privileged positions to the citizens of the state as the town burghers formerly enjoyed, and everything that stood opposed to this end would have to disappear. There could be no further ground for giving city dwellers any advantage over the rural population, for both were alike citizens of the state, nor was there any reason for preferring the citizens of one city to those of another. If both were in the same state, all special privileges to those who lived in the cities generally, as well as those of any particular city, would have to disappear. There's not to be a change in general economic ideas, if conceptions on the relationship between means and ends in economic matters are not to alter, then the state will have to be made the new unit to which all local or municipal interests will have to be subordinated. Did I get that? Okay. And everything will have to disappear. Yeah, they had this is a bit of things that I didn't know how it was. People in the rural were seen as lesser, people in the city were seen as bigger, and the bourgeoisie and the bourgeoisie, the actual merchant nobles, you could say, not exactly nobles, but wealthy nobles, wealthy people, were considered a step above them all. What you want, and then the city will have to be made which all the result. The city policy extended over wider. No. Really kind of. Since early times, mercantilism has been characterized as the endeavor to exchange local municipal exclusiveness for a national state economy, employing the same means as those which serve the old. This is a good important quote. Don't even bold them, because this is like a summary of what mercantilism is, of the transitory period of mercantilism. Blah blah blah. This is the end of the chapter. Oh no, it's not. I thought it was the end of the chapter. It wasn't. Nothing. Just random bullshit. Imperial authorities had no definitive, consistent policy towards the town. They sometimes arrayed themselves on the side of the towns, and at the others, they supported the territories, never setting themselves in the interests of imperial unification. When the two margraves of the Mark of Baden began to follow the mercantilist policy of unification, they broke off, for example, the links that existed between the craftsmen of Baden-Baden and those of Baden-Durlach. Each of these regions had an area of roughly 900 kilometers, 30 kilometers, and the degree of unification that could be carried through, where any measures had to be confined to areas of this size, can be easily be imagined. Most German states had only one town of any importance. To overcome the rivalry between towns in such regions would hardly mean anything at all. The country, to put down cities in a neighboring territory, remained around a patriotic duty, and to his extent, all the territorial policy did was merely to provide a new name for the old municipal policy. No change could be made until Germany's political structure had been revolutionized. Question is, how far these larger territories succeed? Blah blah blah. Gonna look faster. Policy had no means lost its hold with the minds of men, that on the other, the princes had greater opportunities of asserting their authority than the towns formerly had. To the first point, the new era did not succeed in creating an economic idea. It's just politics, like just complicated politics. Because it was the cities who wanted their autonomy, it was the prince who wanted to control the cities, and created a unified identity, but at the same time distinct Like just everyone fighting each other politically. Everyone pushing everyone in all directions. In their own direction. Every person was pushing on their own direction, which was not ideal for the unification of the country under one identity. And actually fixing things up, which means that the merchants and the population suffered. Holy shit, now this is a lot of years and names and places that's not interesting. Hmm. Okay. Please. The international regulation of industry in France. The legal victory of the state over particularism. The regulation of handicraft and of industry in France, together with the measures regarding tolls, is the principal and most typical result of mercantilism in the struggle against the disintegration within the state. As far as external effects are concerned, the regulation of industry must be considered as more important than toll policy, as it became a pattern for all princes and statesmen great and small throughout the continent. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Is this the? I think this is around the Industrial Revolution, isn't it? What's the year of the Industrial Revolution? Industrial Revolution. 7060. God damn it. 7060. Are we on the 7060? Well, not here. We are. The great. Just as in England, the effects of the Black Death provided a powerful motive for the first interference on the part of the state. The Great Pestilence had led to a rise in prices, and particularly in wages, and the king took this as a motive for making the local bodies in Paris, above all the guilds, dependent on the royal institutions. Second half of the 14th century, the monarchy went further and encroached upon all departments of guild activity, regulated the organization's right of assembly, made the control of commodities dependent on its consent, and made a special point of drawing up and confirming large scale the privileges of the guilds. This activity seems to have reached its zenith in the first years of the 15th century. Purpose of which was to lay down uniform rules for the organization of handicraft, and the later edict for trade as well. Places vital and independent craftsmen to take an oath before the king's representative. At the same time, the king's officials encroached more and more on the preserves of the autonomous feudal and communal bodies. This boundary line, however, was fixed in the powers of the various authorities. This led to constant conflict between them. First place, the state laid down regulations for the conduct of industry, and consequently, all markets of local and corporative control were replaced by others of the state. Chiefs of police, which was very critical, came under state supervision. Oh, establish. Okay. Another important change was the institution. Came under state. Oh yeah, the establishing police, an actual policing body. Basically, everyone was doing their own shit, and if someone was doing bad, they needed to report to the king himself or to the ruler himself, We'll then summon the army and make an investigation and deal with it. But now we're making an autonomous body of policy. We're reading from the pre-legal punishment by Mr. Fern. Okay. 140. What page are we? Oh shit. Now we're finally reaching the page. There we go. That's the... The guilds and in fact industry in general were to a great extent regulated, independently of the state. Again and again, the jurisdictions were declared abolished, but the decrees were not put into effect. Exception from the state supervisions were formally recognized by the last great regulation of the guilds. And 13 years later, on the 9th of August, feudal rights were abolished. The privileges of the following parts of Paris were numbered amongst them: the suburbs, the cloister and yard, together with the surroundings of 4 other churches, 2 courts and temple in one street. Throughout the 18th century, attempts to stop trading forbidden goods, for example, were frustrated by the fact that the chief of Paris police did not consider himself authorized to force his way into the secret dens of illicit traffic without previous warning, so that the miscreants always had sufficient time to remove all traces of their guilt. For years, finally, the monarchy had granted particular places the right to regulate their crafts with complete independence, and they were thereby excepted from the general arrangements. This was true particularly of Lyons, one of the largest French industrial towns, and the center of the silk industry. Okay, now we are finally reaching actual talk about guilds. The legal development line above on the whole finally led to all public powers of the industry being gathered together under the state's control. But more important than this was the actual development of regulation itself. It remained to be seen to what extent the monarchy, having won back its lost legal rights, would be capable of providing a craft organization common to the whole country and adapted to its needs. In this connection, we must first consider the relationship between the monarchy and the guilds. There we go. The witchcraft regulation had taken definite shape in accordance with the ideas of Roman policy. 3051. A peculiarity is met with at the beginning of this development. In the 1351 decree mentioned above, the purpose of which was to remedy the rising prices, according the guilds a very subordinate place in its scheme, does not indicate any intention of doing away with guild institutions. In various clauses of this very extensive document, their existence is taken for granted. It's also easy to exaggerate the importance of the fact that the decree tended to make it easier for strangers to practice their crafts within their town. It stipulated that any person was able to practice a craft or introduce a commodity might do so and allow others to do the same, within the provisions of the law, so long as his craft was a good and honorable one. Even more marked interferences with the authority of the guilds were not infrequent under special conditions. The state of affairs at that particular time was such as undoubtedly merited the name exceptional. Nonetheless, the fact that this first great incursion of the state into the sphere of industrial policy pushed the guild system to one side might well have led to a uniform policy being built upon the foundations, other than those of exclusive town policy. Let's take a quick look and see what Wikipedia has to say about guild. God damn it, Wiki. Not guild wars. Guild is an association of artisans and merchants who oversee the practice of their craft trade in a particular territory. The earliest types of guild formed as organization of tradespeople belonging to a professional association. They sometimes depended on grants of letters patent from a monarch or other ruler to enforce the flow of trade to their self-employed members, and to retain ownership of tools and the supply of materials, who most were regulated by the local government. Guild members found guilty of cheating the public will be fined or banned from the guild. A lasting legacy of traditional guilds are the guild halls constructed as a Guild meeting places. Oh. Typically, the key privilege was that only guild members were allowed to sell their goods or practice their skill within the city. That's very important here. There might be controls on minimum or maximum price, hours of trading, numbers of apprentices, and many other things. It is argued that these rules reduce free competition. Defenders maintain that they protected professional standards. Kind of like old unions. Old unions, but a bit more oppressive. An important result of the guild framework was because only guild members were allowed to sell their goods or practice their skill within the city. These days, well, there are unions where places where you might not be allowed to actually buy from non-union members. Might actually be illegal, but generally, I think that unions are more free. There's a lot more freedom revolving around the unions than the old guilds. Post-classical. Guilds negatively affected quality, skills, and innovation. Through what economists now call rent-seeking, they impose deadweight losses on the economy. What's rent-seeking? Ogilvy argues they generated limited positive externalities and notes that industry began to flourish only after the guilds faded away. Guilds persisted over the centuries because they redistributed resources to politically powerful merchants. On the other hand, Ogilvy agrees guilds created social capital of shared norms, common information, mutual sanctions, and collective political action. The social capital benefited guild members even as they arguably hurt outsiders. Yeah, so it was a stable membership thing. So it had a stabilizing effect for the people in it, but with too much power, the guilds were basically just stagnating, create stagnation in the economy. The guild system became a target of much criticism towards the end of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th century. Critics argued that they hindered free trade, antagonized blah blah blah. According to several accounts of this time, guilds became increasingly involved in simple territorial struggles against each other and against free practitioners of their arts. Yeah, that's actually bad. Two of the most outspoken critics of the guild system were Rousseau and Smith. And all over Europe, a tendency to oppose government control over trades in favor of laissez-faire free market systems grew rapidly. It made its way into the political and legal system. That's also one of the reasons why it fell. Because guilds were controlled by the local government and things like that. So they're basically just government control on trade and goods. And when after mercantilism, where actual true capitalism became a thing, it was just laissez-faire, like the free trade. The guilds just died. The guilds were just exactly against, there's a specific word, but they're anathema? No, not anathema. Where they're exactly the contrary of a free trade. Many people who participated in the French Revolution saw guilds as the last remnant of feudalism. Press the guilds in France. Oh shit. In the 03, the Napoleonic Code banned any coalition of workmen whatsoever. It is to prevent this reduction of price, consequently of wages and profit, by restraining that free competition which would almost certainly occasion it at all corporations. The greater part of corporation laws have been established, and when any particular class of artificers or traders not proper to act as a corporation without a charter, such adulterine guilds, as they were called, were not always disfranchised upon that account, but obliged to fine annually to the king for permission to exercise their usurped privileges. Karl Marx in Communist Manifesto also criticized the guild system for its gradation of social rank and what he saw as the relation of oppressor and oppressed entailed by the system. The 18th and 19th centuries that saw the beginning of the low regard in which some people hold the guilds to this day, in part due to their inability to control unruly corporate behavior. The tide of public opinion turned against the guilds. Because of industrialization and modernization of the trade and industry, and the rise of powerful nation-states that could directly issue patent and copyright protections, often revealing the trade secrets, the guild's power faded. Oh, they also controlled patent and copyright. They had this power. It was enforcing patent and copyright was not possible because the government was not strong enough, was not developed enough. So the guilds serve that purpose, but if the guilds control and they have to enforce patent and copyright, it means that they are corruptible too, and they're just an independent system. They're not something like the government itself that you can, that his actual job is to manage things. They're just more free form. They're just more exploitable, because at least governments have an experience in managing and controlling itself. As bad as it is, as bad as some governments can be, and not being oppressive, there's nothing stopping the guilds from being oppressive aside from the people who stand up to them. So that's why I've heard that guilds were basically just racketeering. The guilds of old were racketeering, extortion. They're just like gangs. Stopping. They were actually terrible in the medieval times. That's because they have no oversight. They had no oversight, and they had to enforce rules. So when you mix power with no oversight, corruption folds. When you mix power with no oversight, corruption results in it. Corruption develops. Corruption grows. To the French Revolution, they gradually fell in most European nations over the course of the 19th century, as the guild system was disbanded and replaced by laws that promoted free trade. As a consequence of the decline of guilds, many former handicraft workers were forced to seek employment in the emerging manufacturing industries. Yeah, and this is not exactly a good thing. Usually not closely guarded techniques formerly protected by guilds, rather the standardized methods controlled by corporations. Interest in the medieval guild system was revived during the late 19th century among far-right circles. Fascism interestingly, among other countries, implemented corporatism, operating at the national rather than city level to try to imitate the corporatism of the Middle Ages. Guilds are sometimes said to be the precursors of modern cartel. Cartel, the illegal. Cartel is a group of independent market participants who collude with each other as well as agreeing to compete with each other in order to improve their profits and dominate the market. Cartel is an organization formed by producers to limit competition, increase prices by creating artificial shortages through low production quotas, stockpiling, and marketing quotas. Wait, where is it? Guilds, however, can also be seen as a set of self-employed skilled craftsmen with ownership and control over the materials and tools they needed to produce their goods. Mark, the guilds operated more like cartels than they were like trade unions. However, the journeyman organizations, which were at the time illegal, may have been influential. The privilege of a guild to produce certain goods or provide certain services was similar in spirit and character to the original patent system that surfaced in England in 1624. These systems played a role in ending the guild's dominance. Trade secret methods were superseded by the modern firms, directly revealing their techniques and counting on the state to enforce their legal monopoly. Oh, so the guilds kept the trade secret, but now the patent gave power to the government to enforce the monopoly. That's an interesting change. Some guild traditions still remain in a few handicrafts, in Europe especially among shoemakers and barbers. These are, however, not very important economically, except as reminders of the responsibilities of some trades towards the public. Other antitrust law could be said to derive in some ways from the original statutes by which the guilds were abolished in Europe. Antitrust. Oh, so the guilds were very, very anti-competitive. I kinda want to quote Wiki. Kinda want to quote the Wiki before we are reaching the end of the stream. Oh, I just want to do a few little quotes. Weekend guilds. That one is great. That's what is good. Hello, Bunken. I see you spinning. I see you spinning. And you're adorable. Just copying, just making my research on Wikipedia like my professors did not, like my professor specifically said to not do. But that's a lie, actually. That's just misinformation. What they actually said is to not quote Wiki, but to look for the sources within the Wikipedia to quote. You can use Wikipedia as a way to acquire knowledge. Just don't quote it. Here we go. Just making some quotes because the guilds are interesting. Post-classical guild. And I need to read this. I need to read this part. It's historical knowledge, but there's a lot. Follow the guild. Dead weight long. Rent seeking. Rent seeking is another thing that I hear about in modern times. Quite a lot. This term. It is also events in are gonna be hurt outsiders. Can't believe he's quoting Wikipedia. Well, I'm saving quotes from Wikipedia, not quoting itself. That's an important distinction. That is I might as well just copy the whole article. Wait. It was this 18th and 19th century that saw the beginning of the low regard in which some people hold the guilds to this day, in part due to their own inability to control unruly corporate behavior. And the public opinion turned against the guilds. So yeah, the guilds were just like I said, the guilds had to enforce rules, but they had no oversight, which means that they could not actually stop themselves from going too greedy. Part doing their own inability to control unruly corporate behavior, so they just went overboard and got corrupt and greedy. And the people would say like, fuck you, you're actually bad for us. You're actually bad for us. The guild system was abandoned to promote living trade. Oh shit, ad break. I should have snoozed this ad break, damn it. Controlled by corporations. There you go. This one is very interesting. Guilds are sometimes said to be the precursor of modern cartels. They hated guilds so much. The guilds are so bad that they're like almost like they're just basically gangs. They're more like gangs than a trade union. It also does. Now, economic consequences. The economic consequences of guilds have led to heated debates among economic historians. On the one side, scholars say that since merchant guilds persisted over long periods, they must have been efficient institutions. Inefficient institutions die out. Others say they persisted not because they benefited the great entire economy, but because they benefited the owners, who used political power to protect them. Ogilvy says they regulated trade for their own benefit, where monopolies distorted markets, fixed price, and restricted entrance into the guild. Ogilvy argues that their long apprenticeships were unnecessary to acquire skills. Wait. I need to add this. There's gonna be guilds in my... There are guilds in my story. They're gonna be a part of this. I wanna add a little bit of guild corruption bullshit into the story. I wanna add a little bit of guild corruption. Benefiting others. We shift money to the membership at the expense of the entire economy. That is an interesting, that is a very... That is, I need to add this to one of my notes. Epstein in Prank's book rejects Ogilvy. Specifically, Epstein argues that guilds were cost-sharing rather than rent-seeking institutions. They located and matched masters, unlikely apprentices, through monetary learning. Whereas the acquisition of craft skills require experience-based learning. Yet this process necessitated many years in apprenticeship. The extent to which guilds were able to monopolize markets is also debated. Guilds are often heavily concerned with product quality. The regulations they establish on their own members' work, as well as targeting non-guild members for illicit practice, was to create a standard of work that the consumer could rely on. They were heavily concerned with public perception, petitioning the local police magistrates. According to the expedition, guild masters required guild officers to step up policing of statutes forbidding the use of bleached hair or wild goat or lamb hair. What guild? Wigmaker Guild. The real concern that they had was that bleaching hair destroyed the quality of the wig, making it too thin to style. Guild authors point out that if the consumer discovers the bad quality, the guild would be blamed, and the consumer would search elsewhere to purchase goods. So they are not exactly fully bad. They were just like unrestricted. Like I really believe this is the bad part of it. Oh, I wasn't not concerned. I really think this is the essence of it. The guilds the guilds are basically the same as modern unions, except that the guilds had no oversight and they had too much power. While on these days, free trade has been established by law, at least mostly established by law, and it's very deeply ingrained into our minds. So it's a lot harder for unions to just be oppressive and a bad thing. So that's why there was a resurgence, because during the mercantilism, with the growth of the guild, with the age of the guilds, they found out that a free trade was actually a good thing for the economy, and that's how capitalism and liberalism and laissez-faire became a thing. But then they found out too much liberty, especially in the hands of corporations, was kind of bad. So then came back the trade unions, and now the labor focused mindset, the worker rights and things like that has now became a thing, because there was too much abuse. I haven't even read too much. I just barely started reading the guilds chapter, but I had quite a lot of a productive session. Those tangents were pretty good. Those tangents that I went into researching things, were pretty good. They helped me understand more of economy. Guilds as the principal agents. Yep. Guilds as the... Okay, we stopped here. Stopped here. Let's make a... Wait, what? There we go. Time to end. I'm tired of studying. I had enough of studying. Stop. Okay. Okay, let's look for someone to raid. Or no, I'm not gonna bother raiding today. Not gonna bother raiding today. Okay. Yep. I got 2 good notes. 3 notes. 3 good notes for my story, the stream. So it was a pretty productive session of study. Save this and close this. It was a pretty productive session of studying. And I also learned a bit more about economy. I just did not actually still do not understand how fiat currency is still a thing. How fiat currency is a thing. I still don't understand it. But I learned a bit more about economy this time. Brain expansion, more neurons, IQ level up. So you could say that the point of the stream has been achieved. Now I'll be back tomorrow with Diablo 2. I'll be playing with Lapis Thursday. No more Lapis Sunday, just Lapis Thursday now. Sometimes you might play on Sunday. Then Friday I have AR stream. Saturday I have TTRPG with Eric's and the boys. With Free and Tuple. And Sunday is Warcraft 3 custom games. I'm actually eager to play that one because there's some interesting maps I want to play. We have not played a few maps last time that I wanted to, and now I want to play them again. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today. Take care of your waifus, take care of your husband. Oh, Grammy's gonna start the milking now. Good luck. Have fun. Bye bye.